Listen to me, because I'm not here to entertain you. I'm not here to tickle your ears. If you came looking for another sugar-coated message to get you through the week without challenging a single thing in your heart, then I suggest you leave now. But if there's even a flicker in you that wants truth, not comfort, not excuses, but truth, then listen closely, because this might be the hardest thing you hear all year. There is a disease in this generation, and it's not new. It's ancient. It's the sickness of dependency, not healthy interdependence, not the kind that builds up community or family, but a dependency that is rooted in weakness, in fear, in entitlement. A dependency that waits for someone else to build your life for you. That cries out for rescue before it ever learns to stand. And worse, a dependency that wears the mask of virtue, that calls itself patience when it's really procrastination, that calls itself meekness when it's really cowardice, that calls itself humility when it's really laziness. I'm not going to lie to you. Life is war. Life is a brutal, uphill climb, and the sooner you stop expecting ease, the sooner you'll find strength, because no one is coming to save you. Do you hear me? No one is coming. You want someone to show up with answers, with a plan, with motivation, with deliverance. Look in the mirror. That person is you. If you're waiting for the world to open a door for you, understand this. It doesn't owe you anything. You've got to build the door. You've got to learn to knock, and when no one answers, you've got to learn how to break through the wall with your bare hands if necessary. And don't misunderstand me. I believe in grace. I believe in mercy. But grace is not a license for idleness. Grace is not a crutch for the unwilling. You are given strength not to admire it, not to talk about it, but to use it. And the problem with too many people today is they want results without labor. They want reward without sacrifice. They want wisdom without pursuit. They want strength without struggle. They want to reap where they have not sown. And I tell you, it will never happen. Some of you are hoping that a change in circumstances will change your life. That if you just had a better job, a better relationship, a better opportunity, then things would finally fall into place. But let me say this, your environment is not the problem. You are. And until you change, nothing around you will change. You can move cities, change careers, change social circles, but if you are the same person on the inside, weak, fearful, unwilling to endure, then all you'll do is carry your failures into a new setting. You've got to stop blaming everyone. Stop blaming your parents. Stop blaming your past. Stop blaming your boss, your teacher, your upbringing, your genetics. If you keep looking for an excuse, you will always find one. But excuses are chains, and those who hold on to them will never be free. You know what's tragic. We live in the most privileged time in history. Knowledge is everywhere. Opportunity is everywhere, and yet weakness still dominates. Because people have not learned how to suffer, they haven't learned how to discipline themselves, they haven't learned how to stand alone, they have learned how to complain, they have learned how to escape, they have learned how to be coddled, but they haven't learned how to rise. You say you want to be strong, but are you willing to do what strength requires? To wake up when you don't feel like it, to keep pushing when you're exhausted, to work when no one sees, to build when no one helps, to keep going when it hurts. Everybody wants the result. Few want the responsibility. You've been told that life is about following your feelings, that you should wait until you're inspired or motivated to act. What nonsense! Your feelings are a storm, and if you let them guide your ship, you'll drown. Learn to do what's right regardless of how you feel. Learn to be faithful when you're empty. Learn to be consistent when you're uninspired. Learn to be disciplined when you're discouraged. That's the path to freedom. There's a word this generation hates: suffering. But listen to me. Suffering is the school of greatness. Pain is the fire where real strength is forged. You don't grow through comfort. You grow through resistance. You grow through pressure. You grow through long nights and unseen battles. And there is no shortcut to this. If you try to skip suffering, you skip growth. You've got to learn to depend on yourself, not because you are the center of the universe, not because you are all powerful, but because responsibility belongs to you. The weight of your life is yours to carry. You cannot always lean on others. You cannot always be picked up. At some point, you've got to stand. At some point, you've got to say enough. I take ownership. Because the ones who grow are the ones who take responsibility even for what wasn't their fault. Even when the odds are against them. Even when it costs them everything. Are you listening? I'm not speaking to your emotions. I'm speaking to your soul, that deep place in you that knows there's more. That knows you've been called to something higher than mediocrity. That knows the way you've been living is far beneath what you're capable of. That knows you are made for battle, for grit, for truth, for endurance. But I have to warn you, if you choose this path, it will cost you. It will cost you the luxury of excuses. It will cost you the comfort of complacency. It will cost you popularity. It will cost you approval. But what you gain in return is priceless. You gain character. You gain strength. You gain clarity. You gain self-respect. You gain the ability to look in the mirror and know, really know, that you are not a slave to your fears. That you did not bow to pressure, that you stood, that you built, that you endured, and stopped waiting for someone else to lead you. You don't need another leader. You need to become one. Start with yourself. Lead yourself with courage, with conviction, with purpose. Stop waiting for the perfect time. It will never come. Stop waiting to feel ready. You never will. The moment to act is now. The moment to change is now. The moment to rise is now. Some of you have spent years circling the same failures, the same habits, the same complaints. Year after year, same patterns, same distractions, same voice inside saying, next time. Let me ask you, when is next time? When will you finally wake up? When will you finally take your life seriously? You are not promised another year, not another day. You keep living like you have forever, but time is passing, and you're not getting it back. And here's what makes this all the more urgent. You are influencing others whether you realize it or not. You're either showing people what it means to live with purpose, or showing them what it means to waste a life. And if you can't carry your own burdens, how will you ever lift anyone else? If you can't master your own time, your own choices, your own words, how can you be entrusted with more? You want more. Then prove you can handle what you already have. Too many people want the crown without the cross. They want glory without grind, and I tell you, it doesn't work that way. If you want to lead, first serve. If you want strength, first suffer. If you want respect, first live worthy of it. This is the way, and no, you're not perfect. You'll fall, you'll fail, but get this. There is no shame in falling. There is only shame in staying down. You can fall 10,000 times, but if you rise one more than you fall, you will win. You will rise, and each time you rise, you gain something that can never be taken from you. Resolve. You will not drift into discipline. You will not stumble into excellence. You will not accidentally become who you were made to be. You must choose it. You must pursue it. You must fight for it. No one is going to hand you the life you want. And if they did, it wouldn't make you strong. If someone builds it for you, you'll never have the character to keep it. But if you build it yourself, brick by brick, scar by scar, then it will last, then it will mean something. And I must tell you this, stop being afraid of solitude. Stop being afraid of the quiet. Stop being afraid of standing alone. Because it's in the silence that clarity comes. It's in solitude that strength is tested. It's in aloneness that convictions are forged. Learn to walk alone when necessary. Learn to carry your cross when no one claps for you. Learn to press on when no one understands you, because often those who do the most do it unnoticed. But that doesn't make it any less worthy. You must stop waiting for others to change your life and take full ownership of your actions, choices, and direction. Excuses, blame, and dependency are chains that prevent growth. No one is coming to save you. You must rise, suffer, endure, and build your own strength through discipline and sacrifice. True strength, character, and transformation are forged through suffering, resistance, and solitude, not ease or external motivation. If you want to become someone who can lead, endure, and live with purpose, you must embrace discomfort, pain, and the grind that shapes greatness. You want change. You want transformation. You want your life to shift into something meaningful, powerful, and whole. But you must understand this. Nothing, absolutely nothing, changes until you take full, radical responsibility for your life. Not partial, not conditional, not halfway, radical responsibility. That means the burden is yours, the weight is yours, the consequences are yours, the choices are yours, and that truth is both terrifying and liberating. You see, the human heart is quick to point outward. It is always looking for something or someone to blame. It began long ago. When the man failed, he pointed to the woman. When the woman failed, she pointed to the serpent. And we've been doing the same thing ever since. Pointing, blaming, excusing, hiding, hoping someone else carries the burden for the mess we've made. But nothing changes when you live like that. Your life will not be transformed by explanations or apologies or self-pity. It will only be transformed when you stare yourself in the face without flinching and say, I am responsible. You may have been hurt. You may have been wronged. You may have suffered injustice. But hear me clearly. Your healing, your future, your purpose, that is your responsibility. No one else will walk your road for you. No one else will climb out of the pit for you. Yes, people may support you. Yes, they may encourage you, but the work is still yours. And until you accept that, you will stay stuck. You will keep circling the same mountain, blaming the terrain, when the problem is your refusal to climb. Some people live in a prison of their own making, but they blame everyone else for the locked doors. They blame their parents, their past, their boss, the government, the culture, their friends, their spouse, their genetics, their trauma. They have a list of reasons why they are the way they are, and every one of those reasons conveniently removes their own accountability. But I tell you the truth, if you live like that, you are chaining yourself to weakness, because as long as your circumstances are responsible, you are powerless. But the moment you take responsibility, you take your power back. You are not a victim. Even if you are victimized, you are not a victim in spirit. You are not meant to stay broken, small, or weak. You are not meant to spend your life nursing old wounds. You were created to overcome, to build, to rise, but you cannot do that if you refuse to own your part in where you are. Maybe you didn't choose every detail of your story, but you choose what you do with it. You choose how you respond. You choose what you pursue. That is on you, and you must own that fully. Let me ask you, how long will you keep delaying your responsibility? How long will you keep waiting for someone to fix what you won't face? How long will you keep pretending that you're helpless while time passes you by? Radical responsibility means the end of your excuses. It means you stop talking about what you could do and start doing what you must. It means you stop waiting for motivation and start acting on principle. It means you stop being ruled by your emotions and start being ruled by your values. Your job is hard. Work harder. Your upbringing was dysfunctional. Heal and rise. You feel tired, discouraged, unsure. Keep going anyway. This is not about feelings. Feelings are waves. They come and go. But responsibility stands. It remains. It doesn't waver with mood. It doesn't bend with pressure. It says, "This is my life. This is my calling. This is my responsibility, and I will not abandon it." You want strength, then stop negotiating with weakness. Stop allowing yourself to opt out every time things get hard. Stop waiting to be rescued. Rescue yourself. Strength does not come by avoiding difficulty. It comes by running into it. It comes by facing the hard truths about yourself without flinching. It comes by doing the right thing when no one applauds, when no one helps, when no one even notices. It comes by standing up and saying, "I will not let this defeat me. I will carry what is mine to carry." Some people are addicted to being pitied. They feed on attention, on sympathy, on the comfort of being seen as fragile. But let me tell you something. They are trading their destiny for a crutch. They are forfeiting greatness for momentary relief. You were not made for pity. You were made for purpose. You were not made to be handled with gloves. You were made to walk through fire and come out refined. Responsibility is heavy, and yes, it will cost you. It will cost you your laziness. It will cost you your comfort. It will cost you your excuses. It will cost you your false sense of entitlement. But what you gain in return is priceless. Self-respect, clarity, direction, strength, purpose. You gain a life worth living. You gain a foundation that can weather storms. You gain the ability to stand tall in a world that bends. But you must decide, right here, right now, are you going to keep blaming everything around you? Or are you going to take ownership of the only thing you control, yourself? Your thoughts, your actions, your words, your habits, your time, your choices. If you would master these, your entire life would change. But if you ignore them, you will always be a slave, chained not by the world, but by your own refusal to grow. There's a lie we often believe, that someone else has it easier, that someone else had better opportunities, more support, more luck. And maybe in some cases that's true. But so what? You are not called to live someone else's life. You are not called to run someone else's race. You are called to be faithful with what you were given. And I promise you this, if you would stop comparing and start building, your life would bear fruit. Stop wishing, start working. Stop scrolling, start striving. Stop fantasizing, start building. Radical responsibility also means this. You don't get to be passive anymore. You don't get to float. You don't get to live on autopilot. You wake up with intention. You make decisions with purpose. You cut off what weakens you. You strengthen what builds you. You rise early. You train your mind. You discipline your body. You lead your emotions. You don't let your environment set your standard. You set the standard for yourself and live up to it. You say you're tired, good. That means you're human. That means you're doing the work. But don't let tiredness become your excuse. Let it be your fuel. Let it remind you that real progress is hard, that real success costs something. Every moment you push through fatigue, you grow. Every time you refuse to give in, you become someone stronger. Not just someone who achieves, but someone who endures. You must also learn to lead yourself. Don't wait for someone to inspire you. Don't wait for someone to drag you out of your slump. That is weakness. You stand up. You speak truth to yourself. You train your inner voice to say what needs to be said. Get up, move forward, stop whining, start building, enough talking, act. People with radical responsibility do not wait. They act, they initiate, they correct their mistakes. They apologize when they're wrong. They change when they see their error. They don't need to be told 10 times. They don't need to be begged. They rise because they've decided to. Because responsibility is not something you're given, it's something you take. And understand this, responsibility isn't a one-time thing, it's daily, it's moment by moment. It shows up in the little things. Do you control your words when you're angry? Do you guard your eyes when temptation comes? Do you manage your time or waste it? Do you invest in your growth or indulge your distractions? Every choice is a vote for the kind of person you are becoming. And over time, those votes add up. They form your character. They define your path, and no one sees all of it. That's the hard part. Responsibility is often lonely. It's quiet. It's done in the dark. You work while others sleep. You study while others scroll. You prepare while others play, and no one claps for you. No one says thank you, but you keep going anyway, because you are not living for applause. You are not living for approval. You are living for purpose. You may be thinking, but what if I fail? You will. At some point, you will fall short. You will mess up. But responsibility doesn't disappear just because you fell. You get up, you repent, you learn, you grow, you keep walking. The only way to truly fail is to quit. And the people who live with responsibility never quit. They may stumble, but they do not stay down. They rise again and again until their stumbling becomes strength. Let me tell you something else. Your family needs you to be responsible. Your community needs you to be responsible. The next generation is watching. What are you showing them? Are you modeling endurance, grit, courage, consistency? Or are you showing them how to give up, how to blame, how to remain weak? You want a legacy, then build one. Not with words, but with action. Build it with how you carry yourself, how you love others, how you stay true when no one sees, how you do the right thing when it's costly, how you take responsibility even when no one else does. That is greatness. That is strength. You must understand something that this generation avoids, rejects, and even mocks. Growth is forged through struggle, not comfort. That idea is offensive to people who have been fed a steady diet of ease. It's repulsive to a culture that worships convenience, applauds avoidance, and celebrates the path of least resistance. But truth doesn't bend to comfort. Truth doesn't adjust to your preferences. And the truth is this: the very thing you are running from, pain, pressure, resistance, that is the very thing that could shape you into who you were created to be. You want growth, but you're asking for it to be painless. You want strength, but you demand it come with no weight. You want endurance, but you're unwilling to suffer. You want wisdom, but you're unwilling to be broken. And it doesn't work that way. It never has. Every person who has ever become someone of substance has walked through fire, not around it, through it, because fire purifies, fire reveals, fire strengthens, and if you run from it, you remain soft, weak, shallow. There is no shortcut to growth, no hack, no magic pill. You will not stumble into greatness. You will not drift into transformation. You will not accidentally become resilient, wise, or steady. You must go through the process. The hard process, the one that costs you sleep, the one that stretches your mind, the one that breaks your pride, the one that makes you question whether you can keep going, that process is not punishment. It is preparation. And if you avoid it, you are avoiding the very thing that would make you powerful. Comfort is the great killer of potential. It whispers to you, take it easy, you've done enough, it's too hard, you deserve to stop. And if you listen to it long enough, your edge will dull. Your fire will fade. You'll begin to shrink in spirit, though your life may still look polished on the outside. Comfort never warns you of the price. It never shows you what you're losing. It just keeps offering you rest until you become numb. And then, one day, you wake up and realize you've been sleepwalking through a life that was meant to challenge you, grow you, and change you. You need to understand that real growth demands pain. It demands difficulty. It demands resistance. Ask any athlete, any soldier, any craftsman, any leader. Growth was born not in the easy days, but in the grueling ones. It wasn't the applause that made them better. It was the discipline. It wasn't the praise. It was the pressure. It wasn't the comfort. It was the chaos. The weight of struggle breaks most people, not because the weight is too much, but because they never learned how to bear it. People want results without resistance, but resistance is the whole point. You grow stronger only by lifting what's heavy. You grow wiser only by confronting what's confusing. You grow tougher only by enduring what hurts. There is no version of strength that doesn't pass through struggle, and yet people will try everything else first. They will beg for peace without process. They will cry for purpose without pain, and then they wonder why they remain unchanged. You need to understand the gift of struggle. It reveals you. It shows you what's real. When everything is easy, your character hides. But when things get hard, when the pressure hits, what's inside comes out. If you're full of fear, it will rise. If you're full of excuses, they will overflow. If you're full of pride, it will collapse. But if you're full of truth, of grit, of principle, of faith, then struggle will only refine you. It will shape you into something solid, something real. Some of the greatest growth comes in the silent battles no one sees. When you're tired, but you still show up. When you're discouraged, but you still try again. When you're misunderstood, but you stay steady, that is growth. That is where maturity is formed, not in the spotlight, not on the stage, but in the quiet, lonely places where only you and the struggle exist. You need to stop asking for the struggle to end and start asking for the strength to endure it. Stop praying for escape and start praying for endurance, because the struggle is doing something in you. It is carving out the weakness. It is sharpening your mind. It is teaching you patience. It is burning off the laziness. It is drawing out the grit. And if you quit every time it gets hard, you will never know who you could have become. The struggle isn't always loud. Sometimes it's slow. It's in the daily grind, waking up early when no one makes you, doing the work when no one is watching, saying no to distractions when no one will praise you for it, choosing discipline over indulgence, choosing focus over comfort. That quiet struggle is the root of all visible greatness. You may not see results right away, but every act of sacrifice is building something in you, something eternal. But we are a people addicted to comfort. We avoid discomfort like it's poison. We redesign our lives to escape pressure. We medicate anything that feels difficult. But what we don't realize is that in escaping the pain, we are also escaping the growth. We are choosing a small, safe, padded version of life instead of the real thing. We were not made for shallow waters. We were made for deep seas, and the ocean will test you. It will toss you. It will humble you. But it will also make you. There is no strength without struggle. The people you admire, if you could see what they endured to become who they are, you would stop envying them and start preparing yourself. You would stop wishing for their platform and start enduring your process. Because the only difference between those who grow and those who stay the same is what they do when the struggle comes. One embraces it, the other escapes it, and that one choice changes everything. You can't fake growth. You can fake image. You can fake charisma. You can fake success for a while, but you cannot fake depth. You cannot fake substance. You cannot fake endurance. Those are forged in hardship. They are earned, not given. And when the storms come, and they always do, it will not be your appearance that saves you. It will be your root. Growth through struggle doesn't mean you love the pain. It means you value the outcome. You value what the pain produces in you. It humbles you. It refines your focus. It forces you to confront what's broken. It exposes your idols. It teaches you what really matters. It strips away what is weak, and it leaves only what is essential. That kind of growth doesn't happen in comfort. It never has. It never will. Some of you have been avoiding the very path that would set you free. You've been looking for the easier way, the softer route. But the longer you delay the struggle, the longer you delay the strength. The longer you avoid the process, the longer you prolong your progress. There is no escape. Either you walk through it now, or you keep circling the same mountain, stuck, frustrated, confused. You are not made for comfort. You are made for challenge. That's why comfort never satisfies you. That's why you feel hollow after indulging in ease. Because deep down, your spirit knows that growth lives on the other side of resistance. That's why quitting always haunts you, not because you lost something temporary, but because you abandoned what you could have become. Struggle is not your enemy. It is your ally. It is your teacher. It is the crucible where your true self is formed. You don't need to fear it. You need to face it. You need to walk into it, eyes wide open, knowing that every scar will be worth it, that every battle will prepare you, that every tear will strengthen you. And let me be clear, there is no arrival. You don't outgrow the need to struggle. You don't reach a place where you no longer need pressure to grow. The path of strength is lifelong. The journey of growth has no finish line. It doesn't matter how much you've achieved. If you stop struggling, you stop growing. And if you stop growing, you start dying. So embrace it, lean into it, let it shape you. You want a strong mind. Read when it's boring. Think when it hurts, meditate when you're restless. You want a strong body. Train when you're tired, push when you're sore, sacrifice when you'd rather rest. You want a strong spirit, pray when you feel dry. Stand when you feel weak, obey when it's hard. That is where the growth is. You must fall in love with the process. You must fall in love with the quiet days of grinding, the hard mornings, the cold starts, the lonely nights, the invisible victories, because that's where greatness is born. Not in the celebrations, not in the recognition, but in the moments no one sees, when you keep going anyway. You have everything you need inside you to endure, but it must be awakened, and that awakening doesn't happen through ease. It happens when you are pushed past your limits, when you are emptied out, when you hit the wall, and keep going. That is when the old you dies, and the new you is born. The stronger you, the sharper you, the real you. Stop praying for the road to be smooth. Start praying for legs strong enough to walk the rocky path. Stop waiting for life to get easier. Start preparing yourself to handle hard things. Because hard things are coming, that's guaranteed, and if you are weak, they will crush you. But if you are strong, they will make you. You choose.